I think we need a more holistic view of what safety is, what our safe spaces are, and how to keep teenagers safe. So I'll give you an example. One of the girls I interviewed, I don't put this in the story, but it's in my transcripts. She said that our parents would always discourage us, or rather we would always get these warnings about hanging out with boys or being with boys our age, right? But then she said, but our parents would never drive us to our boyfriend's house and leave us there for 3 months. What she was saying is that parents assume that churches and schools are the safest places, and they kind of withdraw girls, especially girls, from other kinds of interactions, which is okay, as you're trying to keep your teenage girls safe and away from the world. But those spaces that you by default assume are good or are the alternative have, their own kind of vulnerabilities and their own kind of dangers. And I think we should all be aware of this. You had Nanjala on the show a couple of weeks ago, Nanjala Nyabola, and in one of her books, she talks about how growing up in Nairobi, there's a certain age, when they were kids, they would play boys and girls in the estate, but there's a certain age when girls disappear from outside. You never see them outside ever again. Except when they're being sent to the shop or something like that. It's like girls are not allowed to hang out outside, which again is I guess, fine to what, parents are trying to do. But now after you've withdrawn them from what I would say public life, the only social spaces that they have is church and school. So I think parents need to be more critical about these spaces that they assume by default are safe. Because they have their own kinds of risks. And one of the major kinds of those risks is that default assumption
of safety.